I'd like to introduce you to our client Lisa, who I had the privilege of working with and helping her to move through her first stage of recovery from chronic pelvic pain. If you've been suffering from chronic neuroplastic pain for months or years, it's important for you to understand that a complete recovery does not happen overnight. What Lisa's about to share is a raw and honest account of exactly what it feels like to move beyond that first stage of recovery, especially if you're in severe pain. This is the exact same process and the exact same stage that I had to go through when I was suffering from severe chronic pelvic pain. Let's listen to Lisa as she shares the progress that she's making so you can get the most out of it in your recovery journey.
Okay, so we are very excited to be here with one of our clients, Lisa. Thank you for being here with us. She's here from Germany, and she is going to share a little bit about her story and her experience working with us here at Pelvic Heal. So, Lisa, welcome. Pleasure to be with you.
Hello then. Yeah, nice to be with you.
Nice to be with you as well. And I've really enjoyed working with you, Lisa, and I want to give you an opportunity uh, first, just to share a little bit about your story and your struggle with your pelvic pain and the symptoms that you had. And also, we really appreciate you doing this, knowing that you're coming to us from Germany, and we understand that English is not your native language, so it's very special, and we're very appreciative again that you're able to do this. So why don't you start just sharing a little bit about how pelvic pain and how neuroplastic pain started for you?
Um, my pelvic pain started on February this year. I had a normal UTI. I had a diagnosed UTI. They gave me antibiotics, three different types of it, and they didn't help. And I was still in pain. And then I had some other appointments with a urologist and gynecologist and my other doctor, and they were making tests and nothing came out. And yes, and I was a little bit afraid because I don't know what to do. Then I tried to, I went to osteopathy. I tried the homeopathy. I tried the acupuncture. I was at a clinic for 2 weeks. I tried a lot of stuff, and then I went to a doctor. He was a pain specialist, and he informed me about the illness CPPS, chronic pelvic symptoms, and he said to me that that's it, and we can do something about it. And I went to him. He made some internal massages, but it didn't help. He recommended me some physiotherapy. It didn't help. And I was Googling all the time, and then I found you, and I was reaching to you, and you were immediately answered me, and then I had some hope and knowledge to get better.
And what types of symptoms, Lisa, were you experiencing? Because you were suffering for a while, and you're still still going through this, but you've made some great improvements, which we're going to get to. But in the beginning, like, what were your main symptoms when you were going through the different um, physicians and treatments? What were the symptoms like for you?
At the beginning, it was frequency urination. It was burning in the bladder, like the typical symptoms you have when you have an UTI. But then it moved somehow to my vagina, and it stuck there, and it was constant. It was 24/7, and even in the night. So I had really bad insomnia. Yes, that was kind of stuff like that.
So it sounds to me like the pain progressed, it became worse, and then at the worst point for you, it was constant, and it's just
Yeah.
something that. And can you like describe like what you mentioned the UTI? So for those listening, like, was it like burning? Was it stabbing, knife pain? What did it actually feel like?
At the beginning, it was burning, really, really burning in the bladder, and yeah, and when it moved to the vagina, it's like um, irritating pain, like something is stuck there, like something which doesn't belong there is in there, and it's burning and um, just irritating.
Understood. And it sounds to me like you went through in Germany like as much as you could. You went to the doctors, you went to the specialists, you went to the urologist, gynecologist. I think that's important. Before you worked with us, and we always want to be clear about that, the importance of getting tested, getting checked, making sure that you don't have any specific condition or disease or cancers or anything like that. So, uh, like, how long was that process for you? Was it 3 months? Was it 6 months where you were checking off the boxes just to ensure that there was nothing physically wrong or no disease that you had or any structural or tissue damage?
It was about 4 months when I came to the point that there is really nothing structural, and I considered that it could be something with my brain or nervous system.
Okay. And then that's how you found us. Was it through searching or YouTube or?
It was YouTube Googling. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And we worked together for a few months now. And at the worst point, as you mentioned, you had the 24/7 pain, horrific pain. Like, what can you tell us a little bit about, like, your background aside from struggling in pain? Like, everyone watching this wants to get out of pain. That's obvious. But what was your life like prior to that? Like, what did you enjoy? What types of activities were you doing, etc., before the onset of this?
Um, I live in a small town with a great landscape around, so I was very active, cycling, hiking, swimming, um, um, spending time outside was the most important thing for me. I think I'm a single mom, but it's working all right. But yeah, even though I say it's not that stressful, my life was kind of stressful. Um, and I think I was always on a hurry, and I didn't allow me to rest. and I was kind of a nervous person. Yes.
And do you think, Lisa, like that nervousness, that stress kind of experiences maybe that you had in the past contributed to the onset of your pelvic pain?
Yes, I think that stress is the most contributed thing which causes chronic pain like pelvic pain, even if you don't know that you are stressed or that your nervous system is stuck in a bad place. You don't even feel it sometimes. But in my case, I was in a flight mode for years, for decades. Yes.
It's so crucial, and your understanding and awareness of that now, I think, is important. You know, a lot of people will say, I'm not stressed, everything's fine, I have a great life. But the reality is, if you're an adult, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, we've all had stresses, we've all had certain traumas that tend to accumulate over time. So the fact that you've come to an understanding of that as maybe a contributing factor to your pain, I think, has been a very important um, element to your recovery process. So you're still moving through the recovery process and you are improving. Uh, Tell us a little bit about what has changed since working with us here at Pelvic Heal. So you came in at a state where you were obviously at a pretty low point. What has changed for you since working with us?
At first, it gave me hope that I can recover, and it gave me help because I got to know someone who was suffering the same and who got through this. So this is a very important thing, I believe. And through the program, I learned at first to change my mindset from a hopeless mindset to a believing and positive mindset. I recorded self-talks and got out every day and talked to my brain. And that was the first step. I think that was really, really, really important and helpful. Because first of all, you have to change the way you're thinking about it. And even if you don't believe it, that this is nothing structural and created by your brain, that doesn't matter, because you 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 will get the belief when you start. And yes, and then there was the learning of the how does the brain creates pain, and what is happening in the brain, and so that you can really acknowledge the um, the physical stuff, which what is happening in your body and in your brain. And if you know that, it helps also a lot uh, to counteract the doubt or the fear when you have a little bit more knowledge how this all works. That was really helpful. And for me, it was help. No, the exercises you suggested me to to do, which you have done, like the visualizations, the somatic tracking, the breath work, and all that stuff. I think some kind of stuff is very important, but you have to find out what fits you and what not. And yes, that was helpful. And of course, the weekly calls, because they gave me the motivation to go on, and you answered my questions, which are sometimes really like a child, but yes, I had to know everything. I had questions about all this, and you were answering me all those questions and motivating me, and that was really helpful.
And you touched on something, Lisa. You mentioned the mindset, and that is so important. We spend a lot of time on mindset, and you and I worked on that quite a bit. Can you tell us a little bit about what was your mindset before coming into the program? Like, what was your day-to-day mindset like when you were struggling with this?
You know, I am by nature, or whatever, I doubt everything. I don't believe anything. I need to know about it, and I expect the worst to protect me. And yeah, I wasn't positive at all, because I was so desperate and so in pain. I was so unhappy and so sad, and yes, I thought I could never get better, and I thought, how can I live with that? I cannot live with that. And so I recorded some positive self-talk, and I repeated it just every day 100 times, and it really helped. It helped. Yes, it changed.
And that's something that we worked together with you on in the program, of kind of rewiring your mindset, retraining your brain. And how would you say your mindset is now compared to how it was prior to working with us?
It's an up and down, but it's for sure better than it was before. I had to work on that.
We all do, right? Regardless of our pain level. Certainly, it's a lot harder when you come in at a very high pain level, as you have. You mentioned something a little bit earlier about fear, and fear is very important. I know when you and I started working together, your fear level was very high. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that may have changed for you, the fear around your pain, and how you feel, and how the fear is now for you compared to how it was prior?
I am still in fear. I am aware of my fear. What I'm changing is I don't resist my fear. I accept my fear, but I do not dig into the fear, and I manage it a little bit better. But because of that, I'm still in my recovery. I think yes, to lose the fear, that's the key. And I'm working on it.
And you're doing a great job of that, Lisa. And I think it's really important for people watching and listening to understand that recovery doesn't happen overnight, and it takes time. And when you're in severe pain the way you were and the way I was, It can take time. It's not going to happen in a few weeks or even a few months, but that's okay. And this is demonstrating how that process works and what the beginning of the recovery journey looks like. One of the challenges I had, and I think you had this as well, is when you're in so much pain, you just don't want to move at all. You don't want to leave the house. You don't want to go anywhere. Like, tell us a little bit about that time for you when you were in pain 24/7, like your activity level then versus now and things that you're doing now, even though you're still on your recovery journey. Talk to us a little bit about that change for you.
When it started, I just stopped all activities. I was just at home at the sofa and went only out for the appointments with the doctors. But I changed that really fast. I thought I can move. The moving wasn't that problem for me. I could sit, I could move. I didn't make, or I still don't go running or cycling, but I go walking 2 times a day. I go hiking, I go swimming. I do almost everything with pain. Yes, but I wasn't afraid of moving, not that much.
And I
That
think
was not that didn't trigger me at all.
and I think it's key for people to understand, like, getting out of the house, getting into society, right? Having relationships with friends, family, human beings is so important. And I think that's been one of the keys for you, Lisa. I know since you and I have been working together, you've been as active as you can be, right? It's not
Yes.
easy when you're struggling with pain, but I know you've done things with your family, you've done things with your friends. I think you've even gone on some trips. Talk to us a little bit about the kind of the social aspect of recovery and why, how that's worked for you, for people that are watching and thinking that I'm just going to stay home and live in a cave until I get better. That was my mindset when I was suffering with chronic pelvic pain, and that was one of my biggest mistakes, staying
No,
at home.
I realized this really quickly that if I don't go out of the house and don't move and wait until I'm recovered, I will not recover. You have to go out and pretend, no, not pretend, but fake it till you make it. So do the stuff with the pain. Can do everything with the pain. It's like two ways inside, two or two persons. The one has still pain, and the other one is living her life. And one day the person who has pain is not important anymore, and the person who is living her life is more important.
So what would you say to the man or the woman watching this who has severe chronic pelvic pain or severe neuroplastic pain that doesn't want to leave the house, is afraid to leave? Like, what advice would you give them watching this?
I would suggest every day a little bit. Begin slowly, and try to do something. It doesn't matter what. Yes, I don't know. Try to see some people you like, you trust, or animals, the sun, the nature, the trees, the wherever you are. Go out.
And I think this is important. So I want to stay on this a little bit. A lot of people focus on just the physicality of pain and how it feels and how physical it is, but they don't really understand that pain is also emotional. Pain is also psychological, right? Pain is also social. There are many different factors that tie into our chronic pelvic pain or neuroplastic pain. So the concept of assimilating back into society, communicating, right, not being a hermit is one of the most important things that you can do even when you're struggling at the worst. And you've done a fantastic job of that, Lisa, and I know you're going to continue to. So for those watching, again, we're focusing on you continuing to recover, and we know that you're not at 100%, which is the goal, of course, or fully recovered, but that's okay. This is important for people to see how the journey progresses in the beginning stages. When you first came to us, it was severe, 24-hour pain, constant. Can you talk to us a little bit about now your pain levels, how they've reduced, and how you're doing now as far as what the pain level was before, how often it was, and where it is now?
First of all, I had the bad insomnia. I couldn't sleep. I had to take really hard sleeping pills, and I resolved my insomnia for good. I can sleep now. That was a big change because it was so horrible. My pain level was constant, didn't move, was maybe at a 7 or an 8. And now it's, I would say, at a 5, and some days it goes down to a 4. And I have some reliefs when the pain goes down to a 2. Yes, I'm on the way.
I mean, it's so important for you to share that, because I think everybody wants, of course, all the pain to go away, and they want it to go away instantly, but we need to be honest with the fact that it just doesn't work that way. Okay. And when you're in constant chronic pain or pelvic pain or chronic pain, whatever it is, for it to go from a constant 7 or an 8, not being able to sleep, right, down to a 5, down to a 4, and some days down to a 2 where you have relief. That's how the healing process starts and initiates, right? And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but can you talk to us a little bit about your mindset when we were working together? I know in the beginning it was hard to believe that this would be the progression, but then once you had those days of from an 8 level to a 5 or a 4, and some days of a 2, what did that do for your mindset, and how did that help you to continue moving forward with the program?
It gives me the missing confidence that I can recover, and when the pain gets worse again, I manage it now to respond calmly because I know it will get better, and it just takes time for everyone. Different time, and I think I lost the timeline when I put myself under pressure that I have to recover in 6 months because she and he were managing it in 6 months, but it takes the time as it takes, and that's okay.
And absolutely. And everyone's timeline is different. We cannot force it. I remember when you first had those experiences of your pain level going down, it wasn't instant. It wasn't like we just started working together and the pain instantly went down. It took some time, but it was a real breakthrough for you. And that's a testament, Lisa, to the work that you did and you actually going through the program, doing the work, right? Because we can't do it for you. We're here to hold you accountable, but ultimately you're the one, Lisa, that did the work. You're the one that moved through the program and did everything that we asked of you. So can you speak to us a little bit about kind of that process and doing the work and the accountability and how that helped you?
Yes, I think you have to find your own routine, which you can do daily without forcing yourself to do it daily. You have to find something which you like. Meditating, yoga, walking, somatic tracking, all the stuff, but you have to figure out what suits you the best. And there are so many different tools that you can use. And at the beginning I thought, okay, I just need to do this exact same like you did, but that was not the right for me. I just have to find out what's the right for me. And I'm still figuring out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as the Pelvic Heal program, Lisa, what did you like most about the program? We have obviously the accountability calls, we have the pain recycling system, right? The online education that you move through and that you implement, right? We have a little bit of a community. Like what did you enjoy the most about the program?
Enjoying is what for me was the most important was the calls I had with you that empowered me the most.
Why would you say that?
Because I am it's my nature. The other person would need the knowledge stuff more. I just needed the help from a person. That was the most important thing for me.
So instead of just going through an online course or watching some video,
Yes,
did you feel like that interaction and the coaching and the accountability was really the difference for you?
yes, yes. To feel understand and to ask any question and to know that you suffered the same and you know how to deal with it.
And before you started working with us and you were considering our program here, Lisa, what concerns did you have about the program? Like
I had no concerns at all
why was that?
because I had nothing to lose. I would have tried everything. So no concerns at all.
I think that's important and very impactful, right? For those who are suffering that have been to the doctors, had the treatments, had all the checks, ruled everything else out, been suffering for 3, 6, 9 months, a year, 2 years with chronic pain. This idea of maybe there's another way. Maybe it's not just physical, right? Maybe there are different components. And when you have nothing to lose, and all upside and everything to gain, I think that is a place a very freeing place to be in. And that's where things started to shift for me and my healing. And now they're starting to shift for you as well. So I think that's key. I think that's key. So like, what would you say to men or women that are on the fence, right? They're considering the pelvic heal program. They've been to the doctors, they've had the treatments, they've been to the physical therapist, they've done everything, and they're on the fence. They're not sure whether or not they should do the pelvic heal program. What would you say to them?
I would say you have nothing to lose, so try it out.
What was there anything that like surprised you the most, Lisa, about the program? Sometimes we have clients that come in or expecting things to shift for them in one way and then things happen another way. Like, what surprised you the most?
To say it was just helpful for me. I wasn't surprised. I don't know.
That's good. No surprises are good. And talk to us a little bit about the future for Lisa. So you mentioned kind of your struggle and the pain, and now we heard a little bit about your improvements. What does the future look like for you? What are some goals that you have for the future? What are you striving towards, whether it's personal or travel or career-wise?
Just to live a normal life, to do all my sports again, to travel, which I'm already doing, to nothing special, just living my normal life, nothing special.
Well, travel was a big one for me, and I'm so grateful to be able to do that again. And you're traveling now, Lisa. Is it local travel, or what kind of travel are you doing now?
I traveled. I was hiking 2 weeks in the mountains, and now I'm going to travel to Spain and to the ocean to go surfing, hopefully. Yeah, I travel like normal.
Fantastic. So from 24/7 excruciating pain to improving, moving towards recovery, traveling, not letting the pain stop you. So we really appreciate you, Lisa, sharing your story with us and your recovery journey. Obviously, there's more to come for you and your story, and we're here to support you in that. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Please feel free if you'd like, or anything else that you'd like to let people know.
We weren't talking about the emotional stuff in all this, because that's a really big point. I think at first you have to rule out that it's nothing structural, and then you go and find the knowledge about the chronic pain and chronic symptoms, and then just begin to do the work and be patient and look at your emotions and behind them, and get some help. And I do the same, and I get through this.
Well, we appreciate you sharing that, Lisa. This is why we're taking a biopsychosocial approach at Pelvic Heal. Pain is not just physical. Obviously, the pain is very real. You're feeling it, right? We feel it. It's a very real pain, but there are different elements to it. There's an emotional component. There's a psychological component. There's a social component. And this is how we are addressing it at Pelvic Heal. So, Lisa, I just want to thank you for taking your time and sharing your story. You're on your way to full recovery. We look forward to supporting you in that, and we're excited for you to be back to travel and being active and getting back to life. So Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Christian.
You're welcome.
So there you have it. Lisa's chronic pelvic pain has reduced from a severe level 8 constant pain all the way down to a level 4 and sometimes even a level 3 and 2 pain. That's a 50% reduction in her pain just in the short period of time that we've been working together. She's also been able to completely resolve her insomnia, which will no doubt have a lasting impact on her health moving forward. Lisa is back to life, she's enjoying time with friends and family, and she's even traveling out of the country, not letting her pain hold her back. If you've been suffering from a chronic neuroplastic pain condition for months or years, and if you feel like you need a little extra support in order to move through these phases of your own recovery journey, feel free to check us out in the description below.